Earlier this year, I painted my craft room and started a complete craft room redo. Here you guys go. I'm continuing that. Today I'm going to share with you a few organization tips as I update some of the systems in my craft room and make this room pretty and functional. Let's go ahead and dive right in. Hi there, my name is Linda and welcome to my craft room. As you can see, a lot has been done in here. If you missed my first video on this series, I painted the walls and I did a lot of progress in terms of organizing, especially this cubby wall over here. But you can see there's still a ton of mess and a ton of things that are not organized. In this video, I'm going to be focusing on redoing this section of my room right here and my desktop. So I'm going to show you those pretty quickly just so you can see where I'm starting. So my desktop there has all of these drawers. So this is my computer and my main work craft area. And I do have cubbies and a lot of storage over here for a lot of my most frequently used supplies. I also have storage in drawers underneath my desk and down there. And I'm going to be working on organizing a lot of that and making it way more efficient. On top of my desk here, I have some of my most used products like my washi tape and my pens. You'll see soon in this video that I'm going to share how I just updated my washi tape. I was so excited to do it when those washi drawers arrived that I did it before I filmed this introduction. I also need to label all of these and just organize it a bit so that it's not so cluttered. Over here, this wall right here is the part I also want to work on, which is very just messy. This chair is new. And right now it just has a tote bag sitting on the back. I probably need to find another home for that. And then I have these cubbies here. This lamp is a holdover from my old design in here. I'm not sure it's going to match the decor that I'm selecting for the room now, so I might need to find another home for that in my house because I do really love that lampshade, or find a way to make it work here. These cubbies right now are super messy and just extra storage. And then I have my silhouette cameo here, which I have not been using because I've been so busy trying to organize my room and finish up some other projects, but I really hope to get to use it soon. So I want this section to be really functional, but also pretty. Over here, I have a stack of albums that came from my mom of my childhood photos and everything. I need to find a home for those, and some additional storage items that I just picked up, which you will see me using very soon as I share how I'm going to update some of my storage. My closet is a disaster. I just want to show you a little bit of what that looks like. That's going to be tackled in a future video, but definitely something that needs some work. But for now, this is kind of my starting place. And over the next couple months, I'm going to work on getting this area of my craft room done and getting my desktop super functional. And I'm going to take you along with me on that process. Hi friends, it's been a few months since I did my first craft room tour video, and today I wanted to focus on this desktop area. I have my coffee here and I'm going to work on organizing this area. So one of my big goals for this is to have room to grow, and you can see very quickly that I have too much washi tape. There's just too much here. And the problem with that, I'm just gonna move all of this stuff out of the way, is this drawer is amazing, but it's just not big enough. I have a second one. A whole second drawer set here that is up on my shelf. It is not as accessible from my desk, and that just makes it not so useful for me. So what I did was I purchased this additional drawer pack on Amazon, and it's gonna sit next to this on my desk and give me 4 more little drawers. So what I'm gonna do is put you guys on top down and kind of redo my washi tape organization with some room to grow and kind of see how that's going to work for me. Okay, so what I have here, I'm just going to pull all of these out. I'm going to put the actual containers here to the side. This one has some washi stuck in here because I don't need those during my organization. What I need are the trays. And I need to also keep in mind that 3 of these trays are going to be very easily accessible on my desk and 3 are going to be further away for, things that I don't use as often, which you can see tends to be the like rainbow color ones. And then I have this one to add to my desktop. So what I want to do is create some labels for these that I can put on the front of the drawers. So right now I do have labels in here. They're like right on the inside edge. It says neutrals, metallics. I don't know if you can even see that there. Those are really hard to see. So I'm gonna try to come up with a better way to maybe label these. I'm not sure yet how to do like the further back ones. But for these, I can definitely put it like on the front so that I can have an idea of what each drawer is supposed to be. So I am going to work on this with voiceover or music and a combination of both and get these organized. So the first thing I'm doing is coming up with the categories that I want for each drawer. So my main idea is that each drawer is going to have its own category, and I want to have some room to grow because I am not going to stop buying washi tape. I love washi tape, and I want the ability to purchase more and bring more into my home without it feeling overwhelming. I understand that I'm not going to use up all of my washi tape before I buy new washi tape. So I want a system that has more space in it than I currently have. But I'm also going to be mindful about the fact that I don't have unlimited space and that unlimited consumption is not a good thing. So I'm keeping that in mind as I'm organizing my drawers. So in this portion, I am organizing and adding those 4 new drawers. You will see a little bit later, I actually expanded it again and purchased another 4 drawers because I did have the space on my desk. And like I said, I want that room to grow. Okay, so I put this whole portion on 8 times speed because it took me a while to organize it. So I understand that it's going to be really fast to see what I'm doing, but I feel like you'll be able to get the overall concept. So essentially what I'm doing is I'm putting 3 labels on the front of each of these larger drawers that have the 3 rows, and each row is going to be its own theme. So that gives me 9 themes in each of these 3 drawer sets. And then I have 4 themes in that 4 drawer set. So hopefully that makes sense. For the ones that have the larger drawers where there's 3 rows, I have to put my labels all on the front. And I'm just going to put the top label is the front drawer and kind of go in that order. Thinking about it now, maybe I should have put the back drawer is the top label, but I don't know. It makes sense to me, and that way I can look at the front of the drawer and I know what's in there. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys the drawers a bit more towards the end of this video, but I will go through my categories pretty quickly for you here. So the tray that is up on top of my shelf, so I didn't show it yet, but you'll see that later in this video. So the washi tape that's not as easily accessible, I have those sorted by colors. So I have a section for neutrals, a section for metallics, a section for colorful, a section for red, orange, and yellow, a section for pink and purple, a section for greens, a section for blues, and then I have an other, which is just kind of a catch-all for extra washi that doesn't fit anywhere else. And then I have a travel drawer. Those are the ones that are further away from my desk because I don't use them as frequently. Directly on my desk in the 3 drawers, I have hobby, which are anything related to hobbies that don't fit in another category. Characters, so those are the ones with a lot of the little like emojis and stuff. A lot of them are the Coffee Monster Co. Florals. I have a food and drinks category, a prompts and calendar category, crafts, so those are notebooks, journals, scrapbooking, that type of thing. Books and reading, that is a full section. Stripes, and then seasonal. The seasonal one I rotate out quarterly depending on the current season. Then in the 4 drawers, this one I split later, but I did create 4 categories for now. One is animals and plants, one is home and mood, one is basics/favorites. So those are like neutral basics and favorites. And the other one is colorful favorites. When I split that out to add an additional 4 drawers, I split home and mood into 2 separate sections, animals and plants into 2 separate sections. And then I had 2 drawers each for basics and favorites and colorful favorites so that I have a lot of room to grow with those ones. So to create my labels, you saw me type them on my typewriter. You can always print them out on your computer, but essentially what I do is I'm just typing these out on white paper, cropping them to a small size, and then I'm adhering them to my plastic organizers using clear Scotch tape. And I find this to be a super easy way to label things because you can always remove it later, and it's just really easy to add something or move it or remove it. I use this to label not only my washi, but I use this in my chipboard organization. And I also use it when I organize my current kits in my trays, and I swap those out pretty regularly. So I'm expecting to remove these labels at some point and just reuse the drawers. Okay, so you can see these are back on my desk and I have my labels on the front now. So the top one is the front drawer, and then the middle, and then the back. So I can see what each of these drawers are, and I have my overflow extra drawers here. And I put ones over here that I think I'm going to use a lot because I could pull the entire drawer out pretty easily and not have it be kind of like I don't have to pull a full drawer of so many washi out. So that was kind of like my most frequently used ones. So that is a start on organizing my desktop here. I am going to take a break for today and work on some other crafts, but I will be back and I will share more about updating my desk space in this video. Okay, so one of the things I'm going to work on reorganizing are my die cuts, and I'm going to show you why. So I have in these drawers, let me just pull these up. So these are Alex drawers from IKEA, and it comes with 6 drawers. So the top 2 are chipboard, and my chipboard is organized really well. I'm super happy with it. It's super functional. I have a video sharing how I organize my chipboard that is separate on my YouTube channel, so you can go ahead and check that one out. I will link in the description box below if you're interested in my chipboard organization. Then I have these large die cuts, and these are kind of organized in very broad categories. And it's not just die cuts, it's like large embellishments. So I have 2 drawers that are like that. And those are working pretty functionally. And then I have these 2, which were intended to be for like my die cuts, stickers, and things. And the problem is I have too many die cuts. When I started this storage, I didn't really get that many die cuts. And then Allie Edwards changed her kits to have large die cut packs, and I started subscribing to Coco Daisy when I joined their team. So I have just so many die cuts. And so I had originally added these like labels for themes on here. So I have like was this summer, fall, Halloween, travel, I think that's winter, and a few down here as well. That's just not functional. There's not enough space, not enough categories, and it's hard to work with this because I have to bend down really far to get down here. So I want to redo this storage. So that's where Stampin' Storage comes in. I purchased this shelf, and these plastic organizers in here come out and they open, and these are perfect for storing some loose ephemera. My thought with this is that this is going to go under my desk over here where this plastic bin is, and it will fit because I measured it before I ordered. This is for my paper scraps, and I do have a YouTube video sharing how I organize those, so I will link that one in the description box below as well. And then down here, I have some additional kind of scraps, larger paper packs, and kits. I think I have kits that I've never used that I need to get to. I have some washi tape here, some sequins and things, and then my baby wipes down there that I use to clean my stamps. This has been kind of a catch-all random drop bin, and I do think I need one of those in my craft room, but I don't know that I need it this accessible. So I'm gonna probably move that maybe like back into that corner or something. I'm not sure exactly where, but I'm going to put this right here. And these little trays come out. I'm gonna add labels. So right now what I'm gonna do is figure out what categories I need in here. And I probably will still have some categories in this drawer for like larger ones. I'm not entirely sure how I wanna do it, but I'm gonna put this on like the top down view so you can see kind of my process as I start organizing some of these. Okay, I'm gonna take you to see a little bit of an update. So I'm not filming my entire process for this, partially because I feel like it would be boring, and partially because this video is more for the overall of my system rather than just the specific area. But I just wanted to show you kind of how this was coming along. So basically I'm going through all of my die cuts. Some of them were pre-sorted, some were kind of not sorted so well, and I'm putting them into sections. I have the categories that I already had decided on, and then I added a few as I was going through. I have some things that I'm still not sure where they go, but the categories that I ended up adding were crafts and journals, a general sentiment one, or just general, which is right here. So these are things that I could use pretty much on any spread. And then city shops, shopping and clothes, which I thought was kind of surprising that I needed that, but I did. I have an other category, of course, for just other random things, a sentiment category for specific sentiments as opposed to just other die cuts, and then one for people and animals. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish organizing these, and I will show you guys what the final product looks like. Okay, so here's a look at how my die cut organization came out. Just giving you a quick look at this area. So here's this shelf and all of the sections that I came up with. I'm just gonna pull one out to show you here. So here's all of my summer kind of die cuts. There's embellishments, stickers, anything that goes with that theme. I really like to do seasons for most of my embellishments or anything I'm sorting, because I do scrap a lot of things or document a lot of things seasonally. And of course, I always need a catch-all category to have other random embellishments. So that is a look at my die cuts and other embellishments. I feel like this system is going to work really well for me and going to be much more organized in terms of finding things and pulling them out when I'm working with them. I do have another video sharing how I organize this. This is just my scraps and paper scraps. And then down here, just quickly, I have my extra backup washi at the very bottom and like my out of season washi. And then I have some paper pads that I need to get to and some just additional kind of like embellishments, mostly like my sequins and stuff, and baby wipes down there to use with stamping. So that's a look at how the die cut piece of my craft room came out. Okay, you guys, here is a realistic look at what my craft room typically looks like. So today I'm gonna work on fixing this cubby organization system. So I have currently all of my paper is over there under my printer. And then I have all of these cubbies here, which I did try to organize quite a bit in my first craft room redo video. So they are in a pretty good shape. I'm not really gonna work on those today. Here is the problem. I have this one over here, which has become a little bit of a dumping ground, and I want this to be cute. I did purchase a new shelf right here from Stamp and Storage, and I have those linked in the description box below if you are interested in them. I highly recommend. They are pretty pricey, but they are such good quality and they last forever. So that one is new. Over here, you can see I have some there. I've had those for a long time. I can't even remember how long. Probably at least like a decade. And they look exactly the same as the brand new one. So I'm gonna redo my paper organization and move some of it over here and kind of expand a little. Those two cubbies right now are just holding like extra albums that I've purchased that need to go into the closet, but my album storage is kind of overflowing because my closet is a disaster. And then all of those are kits or project plan kits that I need to put together. So I am going to find a new home for those because that is super messy. And I'm not sure exactly how I want those organized, if I want to put them in a bin or something. But for now, what I'm going to do is take everything out of there and do the paper. So I was going to film this process, but I've been putting it off because it seems hard to film. So I am not going to film the process. I don't think. I'm going to just go ahead and do it, and then I'll walk you through what I did afterwards. I also want to point out here, I have all of these albums. These are my childhood albums that I grabbed from my parents' house. Also a pair of pants I need to mend. So it's just like a bunch of like random stuff I have that is for my silhouette cameo there and a blanket. I just need to clean up a lot. But right now my goal is to do the paper here and see what I have in terms of space to store some of these other items. Okay, so I made some progress on this corner of my room. I hung some art on the wall, including that painting I did from Paint Vibe. And then I just cleaned this up over here. So you can see that my cubbies are now totally organized. I am missing a few tabs because I ran out, but this is how I did my paper. So I organized them by categories and I added Avery index tabs on here. And you guys, I love it so much. You can see that some of my categories are missing, but that's just because I need to come back. Once those come, I ordered another set of tabs to put in here. But I have 2 trays now of my 12 by 12 papers, plus this extra half. And then up here, I have my 6 by 6 papers, which I haven't done anything with that. And they're honestly going the wrong direction because this used to be like rotated. So these were vertical and these were horizontal. And I wanted those to be horizontal. So all the 12 by 12 is like that. And then in this cubby, I just took stuff that I had in one of my cubbies on my other shelf and moved it over here. And I will eventually organize all the rest of those cubbies. But for now, I really like how this piece is coming together. I have my silhouette up here that I need to use. And then I have my chair here. I just have a tote bag sitting on the back right now because I need to come up with a place to keep that. But yeah, this is how this section of my room is coming together. Super happy with it so far. Okay, you guys, here is where my craft room is now. So I just shared with you a look at my paper, but I'm just gonna quickly kind of do a pan so you can see my craft room now. Now, I don't think I consider the craft room done, but this is done enough to end this video and move on to part 3. But first, let's go over the progress I made. So as you saw, I just got the paper updated there. I got rid of that stack of random stuff. These shelves are mostly organized. I will do a final cleanup of these before I do my final video. I have that bin of random drop stuff over here. That needs a new home. And these cubbies, as you can see, are now kind of a mess, but that's okay. I will fix that before the end. I have that lamp over here. I kind of like it. I don't know that I'm ever going to use it over here, but I think it's kind of cute. Let's move over to my desktop. So this tray or this rolling cart, I organized this years ago. I do have a video on my channel sharing how I organized all of these pod embellishments if you're interested in that. But like I said, I will share a final video when I'm done redoing my craft room that will go through everything. It'll be a final craft room tour. But I'm just gonna sit down here and show you guys. So I have my Alex drawers here. This is where I put like random scrap paper as I'm crafting. My scanner. This is my content calendar. Sneak peek of what's to come. My sewing machine, that's my current stamps that I'm working on organizing. And I have a video sharing my stamp organization system, and I'm actually going to be sharing an updated version of that next month, so stay tuned. These 2 bins here are just like extra. So these are this type of embellishment. I'm just trying to use them. I need to find a new home. And then this is like a random catch-all. Here's my 2025 story albums. I have some inks and embossing here and some stamps up here. I'll share more about that in my stamp video. Embellishments and current kits. This stuff hasn't changed much. I did do some updating to my Project Life card organization. I have a video on that and my system has not changed, but I did work more products into here and get rid of all of the back stash that was kind of in my closet of extra Project Life cards. Especially I had all of these like core kits from Becky Higgins and I worked most of them into here. My goal is to have all of the Project Life cards that I own fit in these 2 organizers. And then over here, I have my current Project Life album that I'm working on, some stamps, And then up here's my shelf. I have that additional washi tape, some journals and things that I'm working through, some stamps and just a little bit of decor, my stamp binders. Here is my main workspace. And then here's how I updated my desk. So you can see a few additions here. So I have this little wooden tray, and this just holds like ephemera, things cut out of magazines and stuff that I want to try to use in my journal. I have this tray that I added onto my desk, and I picked this up from Amazon. I'll link it in the description box below. But this is just to kind of corral my most used pens, because I was finding that they were kind of ending up scattered all over my desk, and this is keeping them in one spot. Sorry, there's a little bit of glare. It's a sunny morning, but here's the washi tape. So you saw this before, but what I did do is I added that second drawer, or second row of drawers here. I have my wooden stamps up here, my very small wooden alpha stamps. This is like rolling stamps, my black ink that I use. This is for a few little cutouts from this calendar. And then up here, so this is my pen and drawer, my pen drawer organizer. I don't know what you want to call that. I have a link for this. This, I will say, sorry about that, is a little, like it seems a little expensive, but most drawers that I found were not deep enough. These are amazing because you take them off. First of all, Tombow dual tip brush pens fit perfectly in here. And then you can pull the drawer out while you're working with something and then stick it back in pretty easily. So on here, I just added some categories using stamps. I have my Tombow dual tip brush pens across the top. I have, this is stamps and ink. So they're my little Versa Magic ink. These are what I use in my Hobonichi Cousin and other Tomoe River paper products. And this is just an alpha and number stamp set. My sign brush pens. Tombow Twin Tones. These are just markers. I have Mildliners, Sharpie Creative pens. These are washi stickers from the washi tape shop. So just kind of my favorite ones, the ones that are most used. This is my mug warmer. These are just like other random pens, things where I only have like one of them, fountain pens that are not filled right now, that kind of thing, some gel pens. Here I have stickers, and it says etc. So I have these little stickers, icon stickers from the Coffee Monster Co. that I use in my planners. And then I also have some like washi samples and stuff in here. And then these are my most used pens. So everything that I'm not currently using in here goes in here. My scissors and my ruler that I use all the time. But these are just like the pens and stuff I use most frequently. Here I have my computer. And then I just have my current journal stack. So that is a look at how my craft room is coming together. I do still need to do a little bit more reorganization in these drawers, kind of do a final cleanup of my systems, finish off this section, but most of that is not going to take that long. I don't think I'll film that process, but I will share a completed walkthrough. But I am going to have a part 3 of this series first, which is going to tackle this closet. You guys, this closet is a disaster. I organized this when I first moved in 2020, maybe 2021 when I finally did it. You can see I have some organizers, but everything's overflowing. There's stuff on the floor. There's like random stuff in here. So yes, this needs a lot of work, and I'm going to tackle that in my next video. Until then, you guys, thank you so much for being here. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. And as always, I hope to see you guys all in the next one. Stay tuned for more craft room updates and for a final tour of my completed craft room. Bye.